Hi guys, so we're going to use the 35O palette today, like the original OG 35O. I will also do the first time tags, just so you guys can learn a little bit about me. My first tweet, I'm not huge on Twitter. I'd like to be, I just don't use it very often. You should follow me on all my social medias, subscribe here, give this video a thumbs up, and we can change that. But I did get Twitter back in high school, where I was a huge idiot, and it was probably about my boyfriend at the time, because I was an idiot. He was an even bigger idiot, so it was probably about him. My first YouTube video was also in high school, where I was a huge idiot. A dog playing around at the old house, like not even the house that I lived in all the way through high school. The first person I subscribed to on YouTube, probably Shane Dawson, to be honest. I have been watching him forever at this point. Like, I remember when he was Shanae. First Facebook profile picture, either it was a picture of me in Australia with like a bunch of other people around me, because I was very self-conscious. I'll make my Facebook profile all of these people, and then people won't know for sure which one is me. Nobody besides me thought I was fat, so. No, I don't talk to my first love. Like, not at all. And I'll tell you, the person I thought that was my first love was not my first love. It took actual love to figure out who my first love was. What was my first alcoholic drink? Kahlua and cream. Like 6 or 7. My parents were drinking with their friends, and I asked for some, and my mom gave me some Kahlua and cream. I love coffee so much, like so much, and so I started like chugging it, and my mom was like, no, you're not drinking anymore unless you drink this shot of vodka. So I'm like, heck yeah, I'll do that. What was your first job? Oh, by the way, my first legal drink was beer. Was Budweiser. My husband took me to Nashville for my 21st birthday, and we had a really good time dancing at Coyote Ugly. My first job was Farrell's. It's a little restaurant, like mom and pop restaurant in the town I live in. It recently burnt down, but I worked there for almost 3 years. We used to refer to it as the Krusty Krab, because there were only ever 2 employees working at a time. The owner was a tightwad. Like, oh my goodness. I'm not paying for a plumber. I'll just stick acid down the sink, and hopefully that fixes it. Not gonna lie though, I had some really good times there. I got along with almost every other employee there. My first car. It was actually my sister's old car that my parents had given to me because my sister didn't want it. And then took away as soon as I replaced all the pieces on the car that needed to be fixed. And I ended up moving out. So it was a 2000 Acura SLX or something like that. Who was the first person you text today? Nobody. I haven't texted anybody today. The first person I probably will text today is my husband. Who was the first person you thought of this morning? My babies. Always my babies. Mostly, are they still sleeping, and can I get up and make me a cup of coffee without waking them up? But always my babies. Who was my first teacher? Miss Piccoli, and I don't remember how to pronounce her name. I don't know. I went to a school in Illinois, in Elgin, Illinois, if you guys are from there. Lowry? Did I go to Lowry? Maybe that's it, Lowry. I think I went to Lowry. I like literally moved after that year, so pretty much everybody was forgotten about. Where did I go on my first airplane ride? Arizona, to my aunt's house. It was super fun. We visited ghost towns, and we spent most of the time in the pool because, one, we went in like July, and the ground was too hot to walk on, so we spent most of the time in the pool. And the first best friend I remember having, I think her name was Alicia. I went over to her house for her birthday. I can't remember if I ever slept over at her house, but we hung out quite a bit. She's this little blonde girl. We lived fairly close to each other, but like far enough that my mom had to bring me to her house, even though back then like we used to walk to school unsupervised. I mean, in like first grade. We used to hang out all the time, and one time we were over at her house and we were talking about making those cans with the string so we could talk to each other. That ain't gonna work. Where was your first sleepover? My first sleepover was at my house, I do believe. I was like 8, 9, I think, and a friend came over to my house for my birthday party, and we had a sleepover. My son woke up like screaming, so I went and fed him. So much easier if I could just toss him a bottle, but I should probably start doing that anyway so I can get rid of all the breast milk in my freezer. Sorry, need tea cool. What was the first thing you did in the morning? Check the security cameras. What was the first concert you went to? I don't know. The only one I can think of is the Zac Brown Band concert, but I don't think that was the first one. So I'll say Zac Brown Band. But I've also been to Rob Zombie, Scotty McCreery, Jake Owen, Slam in the back of my Dracula. First broken bone. I actually don't know. I don't think I ever have, but if I have, it was a toe on a dresser. First piercing. My ears when I was a baby. Got my second holes close to high school, and then like a month after I let them close up. I've just never been a jewelry wearing person. First foreign country you've gone to? I went to Australia. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I went as a student ambassador through People to People. Of course, I was a young, stupid kid, so one, not only did I get a camera, but I brought it dead with no charger. Okay, I was young. I mean, I had traveled, but like only to Arizona, where everybody had packed everything for me and made sure everything was together. So like, I mean, you know, I just graduated 8th grade, so I didn't know what I was doing or what I needed to bring. It was a really, really fun experience. And if you ever get the chance, or your child ever gets the chance to go, and you can spare the change, the coin, the cash money, I'd send them. I mean, it was really fucking fun. We stayed in like really nice hotels that almost burnt down twice. I'll tell that story later, but yeah. We stayed in some pretty nice hotels. Like, one was almost a resort. I think it was, like, because it was on Fraser Island. It was like one of the only hotels, I think. I could be wrong, but it was like this really nice resort that like greeted us with non-alcoholic mixed drinks the second we got there. They were like, "Here, enjoy." And I was like, I grew up poor. Do you know how nice it is to get a drink that's not in like a Burger King cup that we've saved and like washed out and reused? Like, what? I'm gonna take a picture of this drink and send it home, only I don't have a camera because my ass didn't pack batteries. First movie I remember seeing, like in a theater, maybe Cars. I feel like I was quite old. And then the first movie I remember watching at home, hell, probably Hocus Pocus, which I feel like I was way too old for. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering like being like 6 or 7, and I feel like I'm way too old. Like, I should remember something before that. Regardless, like I remember, I know I watched movies, but I mostly watched a lot of TV, so maybe that's why. My first attention was in elementary school. My mom had cheated on my stepdad, and so we had moved out of the house we were living in Genoa, Illinois, and we were living with my aunt in Belvedere. If any of my viewers know where that is. My mom was cheating on my husband, on my stepdad, and so we moved out. She had the intention of moving in with the guy that she cheated on my stepdad with, and he was still married. I don't remember if my mom was married to my stepdad then or not. I know that they were together, but I don't remember if they were married yet. I know that at one point he asked us if he could marry her, but I don't remember if that was after or before. Anyway, so we were living with my aunt. Well, she was shacking up with this dude, and she would take us to school. At the time, we were going in Belvedere, and every single day we were late, so I ended up getting detention and having to sit after school for like an hour for being late, even though I was in like 3rd grade, and I don't understand how making a 3rd grader sit in detention would teach the child a lesson. I guess maybe because then it inconveniences the parent enough that they're like, oh, well, then maybe I better drop my kid off on time. But that's not fair to the kid, I don't think. Who was my first roommate? I moved out when I was still in high school. I think I was like 17. And I lived with who was my best friend at the time. and her parents, so I don't know if you'd consider that a roommate or not, but we shared a bed for like almost a year. A full-size bed for almost a year. Because, you know, I kind of just threw myself at them. I was like, I don't have anywhere else to go, and they were the kindest people I have ever encountered, and I'm so bummed I'm not close to them anymore. But me and her had a falling out. I don't know what it was. It was right after I had broken up with the boyfriend that I had had at the time. I stopped talking to him. We broke up, and all of a sudden she got weird, and I lived with her for a couple of months, but like I lived with them for a couple months after I broke up with him, but like she all of a sudden didn't want to be around me. She like found other friends and was just kind of shutting me out, and like before that everything was fine. For this year that I lived with them, she used to take me to work because I didn't have my own car, because like I said, the car that I had my parents had taken back as soon as I had fixed all the repairs on it. So she was kind enough to take me to work every day, and you know, I literally didn't have anything. I lived with them, so like any money I did get, you know, I might buy her McDonald's or something in the morning for breakfast for taking me to work. I don't know. I just didn't think anything of like this or that. But then after like a year of taking me to work every single day, it was like she randomly was like, so I'm gonna need gas money because the weight of you in the car is costing me extra gas, even though I'm going to town for this, and I have to take you to work. You're gonna have to start paying me. I didn't really have the funds to just hand out money. A one-day shift only made me like $24. So I pretty much worked my butt off to make like $200 on a paycheck. Anyway, so she was just like, yeah, you're gonna have to start paying me for gas. So, you know, her parents started taking me to work, no big deal. But then she was like, well, you're still riding with me to school, so I'm gonna need gas money for that. Which, you know, I get it. You're doing something for me that you don't have to do. And if you want to charge me to go there or do that for me, then by all means you have the right to do that. You do. But it was like sucky because I was in high school and I couldn't afford it. I was literally losing money going to work. I eventually moved out of her house, and her parents were not happy with me. I didn't want to, but like she pulled me aside and separately, and I knew it was a lie. She was like, my parents don't want you here, and they're just too nice to say anything about it, but they want you out, and you can't take any of the stuff they got you for Christmas because they bought it, and they don't want to tell you that because you don't have anywhere to go and they feel bad for you, but they really just want you out of here because they're annoyed with you. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I didn't think it was true, but on the other hand, like, she was how I got to school. She was how I made it to work. I literally shared a bed with her. So I was like, there's no way, even if I do stay, there's no way this is gonna work because it's just gonna be miserable. Like, she's not happy with me here. I love her, but like, you know, it's not gonna work. And my first, like, legit, like, I paid rent was my ex. The first guy I ever dated. He messaged me. He had a girlfriend at the time, and I had a boyfriend at the time, and he was like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of in a sucky situation. He was like, why? I was like, because, you know, my friend that I'm living with, I can't go back home, but the friend that I'm living with, like, literally hates me. I don't know what I've done, but she's just decided that, you know, we're not going to be friends anymore. And I don't know what to do. Like, I don't have anywhere else to go. And he was like, well, you can move in with me. And I was like, I can't do that. You have a girlfriend. He was like, no, it's fine. It's all good. I was like, alright. Well, I mean, I literally have no other option. Or I would look for something else. But I like, literally have no other option. So, I moved in with him. And I paid him rent, which most of the time he didn't take. Thank goodness, because like I said, I was broke and could not afford it. Well, I moved out into my own apartment that I paid for. What's the first thing you do when you get home? Well, it depends. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I don't really go a whole lot of places. If I do, I probably have to change into pants, so I go back into my pajama pants. And I will live in the same pair of pajama pants for like 4 days, and I don't care. When was your first kiss? I was 16. Almost 17. I was 16, I met my first boyfriend. We dated. He was my first everything, and I thought I was in love with him. I was not. Who did I watch first on YouTube? Probably Shane Dawson or Jenna Marbles. Or Live Lava Live. I don't even know if that's still a thing anymore. Or Kathleen Lights. Candy Johnson. There you go. And I still watch all of these people today. Shane Dawson is like the best. Although sometimes Shane wants to be taken more seriously and everything. And we all do, trust me. For the most part. But like, every now and then, if he could just pull out a skit and do one of those, that'd be great. If he could pull out a Shanae wig, that would be amazing. Just dance around in, in the Teletubby costume. Like if he makes it to 25 million subscribers, I would die. Alright, guys, that is the end of the look and the end of the tag. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.